Today's video is sponsored by Coconut Monkey Electronics for custom handmade pickups in a variety of cool colors and materials and custom rewinds. Check out their website and take their perfect pickup quiz. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel, and I sure appreciate it. How's it going, everybody? Brad the Guitarologist here. You guys might recall a previous video where I breadboarded a 1960s Mosrite Fuzzrite fuzz circuit. In this video, I'm going to take this circuit from the breadboard situation. I'm going to put it on an actual board and solder it in. Maybe even put it in an enclosure and yeah, see what kind of cool thing we can come up with. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, stick around. Now, I'll be the first to admit I haven't really studied much about, guitar pedals, and I'm not much of a pedal hound or a pedal freak or anything like that. But, every now and then I do like to dabble in the occasional solid state circuit. And I'm learning. I'm getting a little bit better at it. And if you want to learn and do more of this stuff, which I do, you might want to go to banggood.com and grab a big raft of these boards. I bought these. These were not provided to me. They provide some things to me, but not these. These were less than $10, and there's like 40 boards or something in here of various sizes. You can get ones that several of these in here are going to be great for doing small projects, and this circuit right here is a really good candidate to put on one of these boards. So I think that's what we're going to do, and actually I think everything I've got here is going to fit on that board right there. So let's grab one of these and build this circuit. Yeah, you can see they make different size boards for your different applications. Here's a real long thin one, 2 centimeter by 8 centimeter. I'm not sure what I would ever use it for, but it's there if I ever need one. I think, like I said, I think this actually will probably hold the whole circuit. These boards are pretty nice, actually. They're numbered, they're double-sided, so they have your pads on both sides. So if you want, you can solder components from the top, or if you want to solder it from the bottom, you can. It gives you the option. Also, if anyone is building along, I'll put a schematic and a parts list and everything down in the description. And here is the size of board you're going to probably want to use, unless I change my mind. 4 centimeter by 6 centimeter. I think it's all going to fit on this. And I am going to use the kinds of pots that will mount directly to this board, because that's going to basically mount the board also. So it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. I won't have to worry about mounting both. Whatever I get to house this thing is going to have to be fairly deep. It's going to have to be, I guess, 4 centimeters deep at least. The only problem I'm running into right now is I don't have any 500K pots that mount in this manner, so I'm going to modify this one so that it will mount like this, and I'll mount it over here on the extreme opposite side, and we'll just populate this board.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think that'll be enough. Okay. What we're going to do here is just bend little bits of this wire into L shapes and solder it on each one of these terminals. And it would be way easier just to have the correct pot in stock. So you wouldn't have to do any of this. But it's nice to know, how to do it if you're in a pinch. If I were to order it, it would just hold up the video, so no sense in that. I'll use this other one to hold this up. Okay, so there's lead number 1, and we can cut it off. Okay, there's lead number 2. So there's our modified pot, and that should work just as well as the other style. Okay, so there are the pots installed, and I'm putting the 50K on the left-hand side, at least for now. I think this is the way I want them to go. One more thing you're going to need in your parts list is a battery terminal.
But that beautiful doll face is going to suffer. Impending irreversible alterations, and finally melt off the wormy earth. Why keep driving my cold cemented fingers through your hair, examining imaginary skin, of bottomless forever. All I know we're in paradise of flesh and spirit union, crawling deep behind my eyes, hunting seclusion. Maybe here I'll stumble onto a solution. What enormous bottles will I get used to them? In a unshakable despair, setting fields of these separate neon blaze, bite-sized shards of me spinning float everywhere, and eclipse the day. With my intellect and body separated, my soul in dispute wore into unabated, purposefully teetering equilibrium, indisposing self for what so long I hated. Why keep driving my cold cemented fingers through your hair, examining imaginary skin, averting the lips of bottomless forever. Never cease the normal sorrows, reinforcing uncertainties for tomorrow, rendering belief to something straight and narrow, redirecting grief and joy through hazel windows. In a firm foundation of unshakable despair, setting fields of this separate neon blaze, bite-sized shards of me spinning float everywhere, and eclipse the day. Staring hypnotized at you, potential lover, but that beautiful doll face is going to suffer. Irreversible alterations, and finally melt off the wormy earth. My lips rise, behold your multi-dimensional nightmare, forms the threshold of the vessel I am in. Inches thin can help appear at what is out there.
Alright, so that's it. It's all completed. Pretty simple, really. Not a whole lot to it. We're going to use a battery eventually, so I have this on here. We have the input coming in here on this wire. The output's going on these two pairs. We will hook up, when we figure out what we're going to put this thing in, obviously we'll hook up our jacks and everything. And we also may find a place to insert like a LED, you know, indicator to show us when it's on, and also maybe a switch as well. We'll probably come in here and splice in a switch somewhere eventually. But for now, I'm curious to test it out and see if the noise has reduced now that we've gotten it down to this. Okay, I'm ready to test this thing out. I'm using my Telecaster. I'm running through this custom solid-state bass amp back there. So, I mean, it's not ideal, but you're going to get an idea of what this thing will sound like in the front, you know, in the front end of something. It would be even better, you know, if it was a tube amp. And, you know, we use the natural compression of the tubes and just basically slam the front end with this thing. It would, you know, make a little bit of a difference. Well, really a big difference, probably. One thing I did want to mention, this power supply does not have a grounded supply. It's floating from the house ground. So if I use this center ground and stick it to the negative end, it lessens the noise a little bit. I don't know if you're gonna be able to pick that up or not, but it does somewhat lessen the noise when you ground it. Also, this fluorescent light that's overhead here, if I turn it on, you'll see the difference it makes. It makes just a kind of a whirring sound, and it really picked up by the amplifier. So I'm going to leave this off for the duration of the test, and we'll just kind of get an idea of what it sounds like. What difference a battery would make. Let's try with a battery. You know, I mean, it's still noisy, a little bit noisy when I've got the guitar up. Of course, I mean, this is a Telecaster, so it's going to be a little bit noisy anyway. But the power supply really, I mean, is not that bad by comparison to the battery. It's about the same. clone of a 1960s Mosrite Fuzzrite pedal. I hope you guys have enjoyed this part of the series. I think in the next part what I'm going to do is build a little enclosure for it. So that should be kind of fun, and I'm going to try to source some materials that might be a little unconventional. As far as this power supply goes, man, you know, I didn't see a huge difference. There was a little bit of a difference, but I didn't see a huge difference between this and the battery as far as the noise goes. So I would say it's probably not going to impede me and my ability to do breadboarding with this thing. So you know, so far I highly recommend this power supply. I really can't find much of a fault with it. So anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this part of the video, and for now, y'all take care.